Well, hello and welcome to the Gauge Look, folks, and here we are with our Radious mod overview. So I thought it was about time got back on to the bandwagon, that is Total War, and we would do some Radious mod unit overviews for Three Kingdoms. Now, it's actually quite difficult for Three Kingdoms because there's so many units, as there always is in Radious. In fact, wait, let me talk to you about something first. This, I cut myself building a shelf. Don't ask anymore, I'm useless. Isolated, so I'm building shelves. So yeah, we're going to do it by sort of faction leaders or unit type, because the way Three Kingdoms is, it's not quite as clear cut as picking like the vampire counts or the Scottish and the French and things like that. So we're going to do it by leader, which means it'll be quite short videos because there's just a small number per leader specific, and then there's some overall faction ones. I'm happy to be led by that. Radious has put out an absolutely beautiful PDF actually, with all the units lined up for all the factions, but for all the heroes and so forth. But I'm not sure it's for anyone other than patrons. Don't quote me on that. Obviously, I'll put the links below in the description of the video. Want to be a patron? Join up. Go and check out his mods on Steam. But I will check, because it's a really cool PDF, to see if I can maybe post a picture of it or something like that. But I'll go through each of these videos anyway, and we'll make them briefer than this one's going to be, because this is the introductory one. Anyway, let's get started. So just 6 units, and instead of the zombie hordes that we normally fight, we're fighting some basic swordsmen, just very quickly to see what it's like. Now, I've taken some advice. I do get criticised quite a lot for zooming in and out and moving around too much. I know I do it all the time, I can't help it because I'm not going to do it anymore. So let's have a wee look, shall we? Okay, so what have we got? We've got King Radious. Cao Cao came in charge after feudal province of Yazao was slayed by Yellow Turban. Cao Cao later defeated the Yellow Turban in the area and after accept their surrender. He selects those who are loyal, young, strong, equipped, and train them to become the backbone of the army. Maybe a few spelling errors there, but still very interesting. Okay, so this is so different, and I've hardly played any Three Kingdoms this year at all. So they've got reasonable morale. They're pretty, you know, they're medium sword infantry. I wouldn't expect too much from them. They've got quite a large life pool, and they've got relatively okay morale, and generally just sort of basic level troops. Let's have a little look at them. So they've actually got a mixture of weapons. They've got some heavy ass maces there, as well as some swords, and that looks about it. Swords and maces. I'd say quite standard troops. A couple of helmets, some sort of turban like forces. I love the absolute blending in the background. It looks so cool. Okay, so they were King Radious. I think that must be how you pronounce it. Okay, then we've got the Yanzhou infantry. Let's have a little look. Drilled to march without rest, these brave warriors of the province of Yan have carried cow banners into many a fierce battle and bloodied them with the blood of their enemies. Okay, much cooler description. All-rounder, good against mounted, weak against missile attacks. These are obviously halberd infantry. Better morale than the last ones, better health. Generally just better everything, also slightly faster, which is interesting. Let's have a little look at these guys. So these are more standard. They've got some beautiful standard bearers, as well as the standard halberd. I like these infantry a lot. I think you can make quite good use of them. 300. I must have an ultra. I haven't really set up anything. This is the first video for a long time in Three Kingdoms. Anyway, Yazao G infantry. Okay, we've got heavy Yanzhou G infantry. So these are obviously the heavier versions of those ones. So they've got a lot more armour, a lot more, well, a little bit more morale, a little bit more health, a little bit slower as you would expect. I think this will just be the same one yet. So these are just heavier versions of those. But they could do some work, these guys. I can't remember what that is. They're disciplined. Does not suffer a morale penalty when the general dies. And these are very standard troops, as you would expect. Some really cool helmets. Remind me of the Mongols, actually, these helmets. Okay.
Make ready! At the ready!
And then, oh, these guys are beautiful, aren't they? Look at these. Okay, so these are heavy glaive infantry. They're front line. They're good against mounted and they're good armour. These have got heavy morale, heavy armour, good attack, good health, relatively okay pace. The central plains of the Empire have long held the key to controlling it, and the men who call it home will fight hardest to protect it. Zongyao Infantry. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing all these names. Interesting little factoid, I am learning Mandarin right now. It's not helping with my pronunciation, I can tell you that. Okay, so we just got these 4 infantry troops, and look how beautiful they are. Now, I am a Warhammer guy, so I've always preferred Total War Warhammer, but there is something about the way Three Kingdoms looks that's just a little bit better, like the old Shogun days. Okay, so we've got some cavalry as well, and we've got Cao Cao himself. I'm sure I'm saying it wrong, but you know how it is. Everyone knows him. Okay, we've got Wuhan cavalry, medium spear cavalry. They're flanking, good against armour and weak against missiles. These again are pretty basic cavalry, similar to their medium spear infantry, I should say. Looking very nice. Lots of barding, quite regulated forces, again fairly professional forces we're talking about here. Though the relationship with the northern barbarians remains tenuous at best, a few of their most skilled riders have been persuaded with promises of loot and glory to serve. In the heat of battle, undisciplined riders are forced into fearsome cavaliers, striking steel and fear. So these are actually Mongolians by the sound of it, or something along those lines, maybe pre-Mongolian era. Very cool, and again, very, very cool helmets. Good spear cavalry, and of course we have one last unit, which is medium spear cavalry, tiger and leopard cavalry. Now it should be said there's a heavy variant on this, but just to fit the 6 into this little video, we've kept it that. So these are the medium spear cavalry, all-rounder, good missile defense because of their shields. They do have interesting shields as well. They do very low damage. That can be seen. In fact, let's just have a little comparison here.
The time has come.
So they've got a lot more armour, as you would expect. Interesting. Only the very best soldiers selected for Cao Cao's elite tiger and leopard cavalry. Each one has previously led 100 soldiers and is counted among the best riders in the land. So these are centurions, basically, mounted centurions. They're outfitted with partial iron armour and the finest Kwong spears and shields, enabling them to close the distance on and neutralise long-range enemies. As befitting their elite status, these cavalry are highly disciplined and will continue on to fight. I'll be honest, although they've got good discipline, their stats are not incredible, but they're obviously that discipline trait is going to come into it. Anyway, let's start the battle. Oh, how'd you do this again? Oh, I don't know. I'm trying to get them to like group attack. It's so beautiful, this. Look at my beautiful banners. What are you guys doing? Okay, and all these guys have got our light sword infantry, saber militia, the zombies of the Three Kingdoms world. I'll have to figure out what the hotkey is for this game. Okay, let's go into slow motion, see if we can get a wee charge. Oh. Nice. Oh, they were throwing stuff. Okay, let's get a charge. Much of a charge. See if we can get some more in. They're just too weak to even have kept up. Cavalry have already ran completely through them. You get over here, lads. Okay, well that was a nice brief video on Cao Cao, and we will do all the rest over time. We'll release one every probably 3 or 4 days because they're not very long videos. Not much editing either, of course. And hopefully this will be gone for the next video. We'll work into these a little bit more, I'll make them a little bit more efficient, but this is the first jump back into the Radious mod overviews. Anyway, thank you for watching, obviously watch the other videos, and I will see you again.